Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel if you're a returning viewer or subscriber. In today's video I have another book haul for you. So these are all the books I bought from about the beginning of May to the end of June. I've got about 1.5 book hauls to come after this one in order to catch up to about the point where I am now in terms of how many books I brought into my life. In today's video I've got 15 to mention: ebooks, audiobooks, and of course the majority is physical books. So without further ado, let's just get on to the video. The first 3 books I'm going to whiz through really quickly because they're ones that I actually mentioned in my previous video, which was like a Kindle TBR. So these 3 are all ebooks, and if you want to hear like great detail about the synopses, whatever word it is, more to do with why I bought them, why I'm particularly interested in those ones, feel free to check out the previous video because that's where you will see more about these 3 books coming up. But I will quickly run through them just because I purchased them before the ones to follow in this haul, so I feel like it makes more sense to include them. The first of those is Daughter of No Worlds by Krista Broadbent. Is the author of The Serpent and the Wings of Night, I think the book is called, which was a hugely popular like kind of romantasy book that really kind of took the world by storm over the past couple of years. All 3 of these ebooks I bought on my Kindle in one of the Kindle like daily deal sales, so they all cost me 99p. So when I saw a Krista Broadbent book dip into that, I decided to give it a go. Secondly, Acts of Desperation by Nolan is a book that's been on my wish list for years at this point. I just was never getting around to purchasing it, so I was like, I'll give it a go on my Kindle, pay 99p for it, and then if I really enjoy it I can always purchase the physical copy to add to my bookshelves. And that's like a literary fiction, think along the lines of like Sally Rooney, Nisha Dolan, that kind of vibe. And then the third book and the final ebook I believe in this haul is Emily Wilde's Encyclopaedia of Fairies by Heather Fawcett. Again, a massive book similar to Serpent and the Wings of the Night. That took off over the past couple of years and is really just like a hit. I'm thinking I want to get the paperback of this. Buying the book like temporarily on Kindle is not a problem, and of course if I don't enjoy it then I won't bother purchasing the physical book. First 3 books in this haul: romance fantasy, contemporary lit fic, and another fantasy, a cozy fantasy. But yeah, that's it for ebooks. Now we'll get into the books I have physically with me. So I was a very lucky girl and I won a giveaway on Instagram, which has never happened to me in my life. It was just such a crazy moment. I just randomly entered this giveaway with no thought that I would ever win it, but I did. I guess that's kind of how these things work, isn't it? It's always when you kind of don't expect it that you tend to win these things. So the book I won is the 3rd book in the Addicted series called Addicted for Now by Krista and Becca Ritchie. I've read the 1st book in this series. I did a whole entire like 1 book focus reading vlog on it. I'll have it linked up here and down below as well. But I've been really wanting to pick up the other books in the series so I can continue on reading them and also filming 1 book dedicated videos for each of the books in this series, but they're quite expensive. These new paperbacks, they're $17 and I just don't have that kind of money to like dish out on the whole series. So winning the giveaway was honestly such a blessing because I really do want to continue the series, but like I said, it's kind of a pricey thing to be doing. So yeah, this is one of the new Berkeley editions, which includes exclusive bonus material. What is it? Is it like texts? That's what it was in Addicted to You. Yeah, texts, a playlist. I knew that the book would be sent from Krista and Becca Ritchie, so I expected to get a signed copy, and it is indeed signed. It's also signed and personalised, which is very cool. But I was not expecting to receive a lovely email from Krista and Becca Ritchie, a postcard that had a little note written on them, some stickers and a bookmark. The whole thing was really lovely and I feel so blessed to have won it. I'm very excited to pick this one up. Next up we have another book that I've been meaning to get to for a little while, a bit longer than the Addicted series. My big kind of hyped release of 2020 was House of Earth and Blood by Maas. So I read that book in the summer or across maybe August into September of 2020. I really enjoyed it a lot. I gave it 4 stars. I just found that it took me a very long time to get through, but I did kind of enjoy every single second I was reading it. So I've been meaning to pick up the sequel before the 3rd book comes out, I believe the beginning of next year, in like January, February or something like that. The only problem is that because I was so eagerly anticipating House of Earth and Blood, I bought the hardcover because I wanted to read it in the year it came out, and that did mean that I had to splash all the cash and buy the hardcover of the 2nd book as well, so I'd have matching editions, because unfortunately that's something I really do care about. This book was always so expensive. It was like 20 quid, and then one day randomly on Amazon it dropped down to 10, so I picked up House of Sky and Breath, the 2nd book in the Crescent City series. Like I said, I really enjoyed the 1st book, so I am excited for this one, but I mean, it's massive. I actually think it's the same length as the previous book. They've just like used different paper or something because this book is so much thicker looking than the previous one. But yeah, I do want to read this book so I can not get FOMO when the 3rd book comes out early next year. When I'll get to this, I'm not sure, but maybe it will just be like a cozy winter fantasy read for me. I might even read it around the time of the 3rd book's release so I can kind of like get hyped for the series again. I'm very thankful to finally own this book. I've been meaning to get to it for a while and I definitely didn't want to miss out on the hardcover. So that's that. While I was on Amazon and I made that order, I decided to make another order. You saw me haul Addicted for Now, but you might be thinking, Jemima, you don't even own the second book in the series. So that's what I bought. Did this thing where I got an Amazon voucher via TikTok, which was to do with like the amount of views my videos have got combined with them giving me a voucher based on me inviting someone else to the app. They had this little deal running. Very weird experience, but very cool. So I got Ricochet by Krista and Becca Ritchie, the second book in the Addicted series. This is again one of the new Berkeley editions to match my first book and my third book, and it contains an excerpt from the next book and bonus notes to the Lily and Lowe's future selves. So very excited to read this. I haven't been doing synopses of any of these books. But the Addicted series follows Lily and Lowe. They're both struggling with different addictions and they kind of enable each other. They kind of fake date to enable each other in their addictions. And the series is basically about them kind of confronting that and then coming to terms with healing, trying to recover from their addictions and live better lives. There will be a vlog where I read this book coming probably in September. I hope. I need to get on that. I have a couple of audiobooks to mention in this video. I have an Audible subscription this year. I've got 12 credits. I received 12 Audible credits for Christmas, which means I basically have a book a month. I actually haven't listened to anything on there yet that I bought via credit. I've only listened to Sense and Sensibility, which I got for free. It was one of the free books on there. But I have spent a couple of the credits. The 2 books I've spent the credits on so far, I know I'm really behind because they're like 7 months into the year, but 8 months even. Yeah, I've got 2 books so far. The first of those is Surrender, 40 Songs, 1 Story. Is that it? 40 Songs, 1 Story? 40 Songs, 1 Story by Bono. This is Bono's autobiography and it's a book that I own physically, but I thought the audiobook would be fun because Bono himself narrates it. And Bono is the lead singer of U2. Do not know that already, probably should clarify. And then secondly, A Game of Thrones by George R.R. Martin, which is the first book in the Song of Ice and Fire series. I'm sure you'll all know it through the TV show, but yeah, it's a high fantasy book and I just thought that it'd be more approachable through audiobook, so we'll see how that whole experience goes. I'll update you along the way. I quite often have a Penguin Modern Classic in my book hauls, and this video's one is Hangover Square by Patrick Hamilton. This is a book that I got from a really good friend Abby. She saw it in the charity shop. I think it was immediately drawn in by the cover. She bought herself a copy and then came back and then they had another one there, so she decided to get it for me. So I don't know anything about this, but I agree the cover is very cool. There's like some whiskey glasses and cigarettes, bottle caps, and it's just very like atmospheric. Plus I love Penguin Modern Classics, they're one of my favourite things ever. London 1939, and in the grimy publands of Earl's Court, George Harvey Bone is pursuing a helpless infatuation. Netta is cool, contemptuous, and hopelessly desirable to George. George is adrift in a drunken hell, except in his dead moments, when something goes click in his head and he realises without doubt that he must kill her. Hold up. This is wild. In the darkly comic Hangover Square, Patrick Hamilton brilliantly evokes a seedy, fog-bound world of saloon bars, lodging houses, and boozy philosophers, immortalising the slang and conversational tone of a whole generation and capturing the premonitions of doom that pervaded life in the months before the war. This is gonna hit, I can tell. It's not even that long, like 250 pages. It sounds amazing. That is a crazy plot. Okay, I'm excited for this. Thank you very much, Abigail. I'm suddenly very hyped. Twisted Games by Anna Huang. This is a book I bought with Abby in the works. We've buddy read the first book in this contemporary romance series called Twisted Love. Very how do I describe the book? It's just like the plot points are so insane that you're just like, you can ignore how poorly written it is because of how much of a page turner it is. Such a weird book. But yeah, we both have heard better things about the second book, so we're intrigued to keep on reading it. And also it's just like, it's just entertainment, you know, like, and that's part of what reading is. And we hope to get to this one probably in September time. I'll let you know on how much better this book is than Twisted Love, because I'm hoping it will be, because I mean, I don't know how we could get worse, if you know what I mean. That's that one. We followed this girl Bridget. She's actually a princess of this like unknown kingdom. It's like a romance between her and her bodyguard, which sounds fun. I'm not sure what I'm gonna think about that, but there you go, that's that. In my opinion, the most beautiful book in this haul is this edition of A Clockwork Orange by Anthony Burgess. Like, this is just perfection to me. They didn't even have to write orange. They just wrote a clockwork in orange, and then you have this massive orange circle. It's just beautiful. It's not a mass market paperback, but it is kind of like, let me see if you can see here, with this like a normal size UK paperback. It is smaller. It's kind of a little bit annoying, but honestly, like, the aesthetic is so here that I don't care. This is the book that I want to read, partially for video, partially just because I'm interested by it. But this edition is my dream edition. I found it in the charity shop, and I just, one of my favourite ever charity shop finds. I think it's so gorgeous. Abigail's also read this one and loved it, so interested to see what I think. I just like, I can't believe I got this. Like, this is just a display piece. It's like a piece of art. I love it so much. So that's that. Very different vibe from Twisted Games. And next up we have another charity shop book, and that is Submarine by Joe Dunthorne. This is the movie cover. I haven't yet seen the movie, but I definitely plan on doing so. Is that because Alex Turner wrote and performed the soundtrack? That's one secret I'll never tell. Did I get the movie tie-in edition because his name is featured on the back? Let's not answer that question. Yes, I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you. The only reason why I'm interested in this book is because of the film and the fact that it features songs written and performed by Alex Turner. There you go. But I have heard good things about the book. It is a coming of age story. I've got a couple of friends who've read it. But yeah, it's meant to be quite comic and I do want to read it having, oh my gosh. I just mentioned a cherry coke. A couple of girls walked up the ramp drinking from matching cans of cherry coke. I love cherry coke. Anyways, what was I even saying? Oh yeah, coming of age story. I've heard good things about the film. So I do want to read this book before that. Following Oliver Tate, he's 15 and it's about his like first experiences like dealing with girls. I'm not sure when I get to this, but I do have kind of like a little bit of a video idea I want to surround around this book. A few months ago I found books 1 and 3 of the Neapolitan Quartet in the charity shop, and in May or June or something I was in the charity shop and I found books 2 and 4, which is perfect because it means I've got the full series. They're pretty rare, they've got crack spines and whatever, but I don't really mind because I really do love these editions. These are the Europa ones. Yeah, I don't know anything about this series other than that my mum loves it and many people I follow on Bookstagram also love it, but we're following Elena and Leela, their friendship and the twists and turns that takes from like childhood into adulthood, and so it's very cool to have been able to find both the 2 books that I was missing in the charity shop on the same day actually, which is fun. I feel like I've absolutely like zipped through this haul, but I also just don't think I have. Uncommon People, The Rise and Fall of the Rock Stars by David Hepworth. David Hepworth is a music journalist and I've had my eye on his books for a long time. HMV has just started stocking books and they've got tons of his work in there, but I found this in the charity shop and it was cheaper than HMV and it was in like perfect condition, the spines in perfect tact and everything, and it's got pictures in it, which is very, very cool. He's written tons of books about music and like music history and theory and things like that. I've heard that this book is more about the people themselves than it is about the music. That's also an aspect of music that I am very interested in. Rock music is my favorite, so yeah. This follows some legends. I think it's 19, like the mid, it's like 19, I think it's across like the, oh yeah, 1955 to 1995, which was absolutely golden age for music, so I'm very excited about this. Also, cool picture of Bowie on the cover. What's not to love? I'm very much in my music book era, so I want to get my hands on as many of them as I can. So there you have it, everybody. Those are the 15 audiobooks, ebooks and physical books that I have to show you in this haul. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to give it a thumbs up so that I can tell. Subscribe if you want to see me read these books, review them, all those things. There's quite a few videos that I want to film that involve several of these books, so be sure to stick around if that's something you're interested in. Also, for anyone who cares, I apologize for not having any videos last week. I usually post 2 times a week and it just wasn't possible last week because I'm working on a bigger video project, and it's just taking me a long time to get through it. It comes from the heart, so it's taking a lot on me to produce, but I'm sure it's gonna be great when it is revealed to you and I'm very excited for it. I'm gonna go and leave you be, but I hope you enjoyed it. Stick around if you feel like doing so, and I'll see you on Saturday for another video. Bye.